In this video, we're going to show you how to make a motorized apple crusher, and then we're going to test it out by making a simple batch of cider. Making cider isn't something we've done a lot of, so we're going to make several batches to experiment. We're upgrading our crusher because we want to use fresh apples from an orchard, not juice from a store. And we are way too lazy to hand crush the 200 plus pounds of apples we're gonna need for this project. Okay, so I have this old apple crusher I got from the Pleasant Hill Grain Company. So the biggest issue with motorizing this crusher is that this axle is either set up for metric pulleys or it's just custom built for this particular wheel. I'm in North America. All I can find to buy here are pulleys that are built to standard system of measurement. This, for example, is a 5/8 inch inside diameter pulley. It is too big for this section and it is too small for this section. It won't fit over there. Even if I were to put it on this section that is too big for and tighten this tensioner bolt down, it would stay, but it's definitely going to be off center. I tried that and it was going to wobble like crazy. What I did to solve this problem was build a custom adapter, a bushing, I suppose you would call it. I did this by measuring the outside dimensions of the axle and the inside dimensions of the pulley and making a part that fit perfectly in between. I drew the part in Fusion 360. Then I printed the part with the Formlabs 3D printer. This machine is definitely overkill for pretty much all practical desktop home printing, in my opinion. This is what the part looks like. I went ahead and I bought an electric motor. I got one from Northern Tool. This is a 1/2 horsepower motor. It was about 200 bucks, and as far as motors go, that's a pretty good price. In order to get this thing to spin at the rate that I wanted, basically giving it enough speed and momentum to crush through the apples efficiently, but not making it spin so fast that the apples just popped out of the hopper when I tossed them in there, I sized this with an 11-inch pulley on the grinder and an 1.75 inch pulley on the actual motor with a, I believe, 48-inch belt connecting the two. And as you can see, amazingly, it works. Oh, I think I got it on. You just can't crush all of the apples at once, just a couple at a time. Well, I call that success. Pressing the apples is actually pretty fun. Even though we couldn't motorize the press, it's really not that difficult to use and it's kind of relaxing. Since we use nylon strainer bags, managing the pulp was really easy, so this part of the process was pretty enjoyable. Next, we heat pasteurize instead of using chemicals, and I can hear the sirens of the cider police now, who are going to be all over the comment section saying that we're going to lose apple flavor by heating instead of using Camden tablets. But you should know that Brewlosophy did a head-to-head comparison of ciders pasteurized with both methods and found that tasters were unable to tell the difference. Oh yeah, dude, 5.5. Did not like that hose.
You know how they don't like cucumbers?
Back to drinking. Thumbs up.
Great job.
All right, it's been a couple weeks since I filmed the last bits. I have the cider here now. It's delicious. I want to tell you all about that. But before I do, I want to tell you about the cost breakdown of this project because it is even more exciting than the cider. Crusher, $200. Motor, $150. Belt, $10. 11-inch pulley, $21. 1 3/4-inch pulley, $15. And Elegoo Mars 3D printer. Base model, $190, brings you up to a grand total for the hardware of $586, which sounds expensive until you compare it to the cheapest off-the-shelf electric apple crusher I could find, which is about $850. So really, if you go this route over that, you're saving $264, plus you have a crusher you can operate with the motor or by hand, plus you have a motor you can use for other applications, plus you have a 3D printer that you can print other stuff with. So if you have the inclination, time, the patience for doing a project like this, I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up, 8+ gold star.
4 bags of popcorn and 1 gallon of soda.
I will put this part up on Thingiverse just in case you happen to also have a 5-year-old crusher. You could try this out, but again, no guarantees. Now, let's talk about the cider. Cider is not typically drank as soon as it's done fermenting. It's oftentimes aged, sometimes for a significant amount of time before it's consumed, which allows the yeast and the microbes to kind of clean things up a bit. This has just a slight sulfury smell to it. It does have a little bit of a tangy smell as well, which I like. It's really good. The Saison yeast we use is really coming through. It is quite tangy, so I would say that this is good to drink green, and this is about as green as it gets. Just finished up fermentation this week and I just kegged it today. If we let this sit for 6 months or so, or maybe even longer, it would be better. This is definitely not at its peak. We've brewed up several other batches of cider using different yeasts and different methods of treatment in terms of chemical treatment and heat treatment for removing the wild yeast and whatnot before fermentation. So be on the lookout for those videos, and if you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you have something to say or have a question, comment below, and as always, thank you so much for watching.